Hey, true believers, Chris Matt coming at you with an action figure that I was reluctant to pick up at first, but now that I have it, I'm very thankful that I have it. Today, we're going over the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Steppenwolf Justice League Snyder cut action figure. And this guy is super beefy. If you want to pick him up, check out first your local comic shop and see if anybody has traded this in, or if your comic shop ordered it through whomever they get their figures through. If not, check out Big Bad Toy Store. I got lucky. I went to Walmart to grocery shop, and I just happened upon him, and I was like, yoink! Kind of the same way that I found Darkseid. Now, as you can see here, it says DC Multiverse. Steppenwolf has the cool little Snyder logo there. Come around to the side. Normal window. Come around. The movie shot there. Not bad. I think it's pretty cool. You get the figures from the wave. I'll get a close-up so you can check that out at your convenience. Come around here to this side again. If it's on a peg or whatever, you can at least see what figure it is, because I hate digging. It's so frustrating. And then, of course, you get the Snyder Justice League logo there. Very cool stuff there. Nothing on the bottom. You can see the figure on the top. Got the cool Justice League logo there. So with that said, let's get this Herald of Apokolips out of the packaging and get a closer look at him. Now here's the evil god Steppenwolf out of his packaging. And I'm really, for the most part, impressed with this figure. I like how big it is. I always enjoy the big, beefy looking deluxe figures. The paint apps overall, we'll get into it, but just, on a first glance, looks great. The accessory looks awesome. But that's not to say that with every figure that you get, there's always going to be those few things that are going to just drive you up the wall and frost them. So what do I mean by that? Let's go ahead and get him off the spinner here, and I'll explain further in detail. Steppenwolf was created by Jack Kirby. His first appearance was New Gods number 7 from March 1972. And he is the uncle of Darkseid and assisted in the murder of Highfather's wife, Avia. Avia is, I believe, how you pronounce her name. In this issue 7, he was killed by Highfather as revenge, which reignites the war between New Genesis and Apokolips. Now, in terms of his continuity in the main DC universe, and I'm not talking about Rebirth, New 52, or anything like that, I wasn't able to find much more on him. If you know some really essential reading, let me know down in the comments, because I love to review more and read more about Steppenwolf. Now, as for the movie, he's still, he's a powerful new god and the former herald of Darkseid. He's still, Darkseid's still his nephew, and he betrays Darkseid to the enemies, which I'm assuming is New Genesis. They don't reference that in the movie. So Steppenwolf is exiled, and he's tasked with conquering 150,000 worlds in Darkseid's name, and that's how he's supposed to pay penance to this Dark Lord. So I'm kind of glad that Snyder kind of kept his original backstory continuity in check with a few, liberal takes here and there. That's okay. Now, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into his accessories. So just like with every McFarlane figure thus far, comes with a stand, which with him, you really are going to need. We'll talk about that in a minute. He comes with the trading card, which I'm glad that the front here has that nice silver shimmery look to it, because if you look at him in the Joss Whedon version, he looked like crap and nobody liked it. So the silver look to it looks great. On the back, I'll get that where you guys can pause it and read it at your convenience as well. The last thing he does come with is this battle axe. And for plastic, it doesn't look bad at all. I like the attention to details on the blade. Really shows that it's been through the ringer. I like the alien technology ringed all the way through it. I think that looks gorgeous. The black wash on there really helps sell it. Excuse my phone, it won't shut up. All those nicks and whatnot, just really great work overall on this axe. So those are the three things that our Steppenwolf here comes with. Now, as for the paint apps, as I said, the Whedon version was horrid. Nobody liked it. But for some reason, this shimmering silver just really helped change it up. I like the attention to detail on the eyes. That brown just really helps the skin tone Looks great, which I'm trying to give it you a focus. There we go. And overall, you see, you put it in the light, and you get some decent shimmering. Let me turn off the light here so you guys can kind of see the armor. Just be careful. These here are jagged and pokey. They do not feel good, so be careful. The ones on the head are a little more bumpy, so it's not going to hurt as much. But yeah, the ones on the body sting. And I like how this just looks like full-on freaking chainmail all the way around the body. Contours with the musculature. The headdress looks awesome. I wish that the silver was a little more shimmery like it was in the movie. But, you know, I'm pretty sure that they dumped the budget in this one and in Darkseid, so I'm sure they couldn't do much more. But at least you get the 8 layering like you would with armor. His, I don't know what you call this, loincloth, I guess. Looks good. It's soft plastic so you can move it around and not have to worry about clearance for the legs. And I love these hands. So again, these are pokey. That hurts, but I mean, look at this. 1, 2, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fingers. It just, ugh. I love these type of monster-esque figures. Again, the skin tone matches the face. Hand, love those spikes. Again, creepy 7 fingers. This is the axe holding hand. I wish we would have gotten an extra hand so that you could have 2-hand action. So I don't know why we're getting this 1-hand resting hand. I'm sure it's a budget issue, which is kind of frustrating, but it is what it is. But overall, the paint apps on this figure are absolutely gorgeous. I love the height on this thing. I think he stands somewhere around 10 inches, so he's a big, beefy sucker. I think my only bitch is the feet. They look good, but as you can see how big the hands are, the legs, really narrow, tiny feet, and then he has toe rings, which is kind of like, okay. But because of the narrowness of the feet, it's really hard to get him to stand independently. You have to be oh so patient to get him to stand up. So I would say that the the stand, I don't know what's going to call it, the peggle, but yeah, the stand, not the peggle, is very essential when working with this figure. Like I said, if you just get a little bit of patience and work with him, you can get him to balance. But as you can see, I'm just having a hell of a time with those tiny ass feet. So I think overall, that's my biggest gripe with this figure. The articulation overall is not too bad. So the head can look down that far, can look up about that high. And again, as I always say, please first and foremost, warm up your figures before you do this so they don't break. Head can look that way. Head can look that way. And it's on a loose joint, so you can get, you know, spinning there, which is great. Arms can go up that much. And then because of this chest piece, be a little careful, but you can spin his arms 360. Now, if this happens to you, don't stress. I freaked out, but it's like a Build-A-Figure. You can just jam it back in there. He does not have an upper bicep swivel. He does swivel at the elbow. And he does have a single jointed elbow that goes 90 degrees, which I wish they would have went double like Darkseid. So that's kind of frustrating. Hands do spin 360. And then I think this is called a ratchet. I'm not 100% sure. It's kind of in a weird placement, but at least you can move it up and down and you get a good range that way. Now the torso's really well done too. So go that way. That way. Downfalls, you can start to see the clearance with this dressing starting to move around because it's loose. So you get that, and then he's independent here and there at the waist. So you can get him to go down that much, that high back. But look at that. That's where you can start seeing all the, all the inner workings there. I wish they would have done something to fill that in. So you just have to kind of move the tray dressing and kind of get them readjusted to get that hidden. Legs can go out surprisingly that far forward. And then he does have a loose butt flap, so you can get his leg to go all the way back. I wish not DC, I wish Hasbro would take note on that instead of the hard plastic on the Legends. Legs are single jointed, just about 90 degrees, so that it is what it is. Feet can go up, feet can go down, and I like that the toes are independent of each other, so you can get some cool options there. And he does kind of have a little bit of an ankle pivot. You're going to have to warm it up to really work with it. I just wish they weren't so damn tiny, because this is what we were talking about a minute ago. It is so hard to get Steppenwolf to stand on his own without a stand, and that's not how it should be. I mean, think about this, trying to put this on a shelf, and he's just all wibbly wobbly like that. That's some piss poor design planning, in my opinion. But other than that, the articulation, very well done. Overall, I'm very pleased with this figure. He's beautifully sculpted. The only thing, though, is the articulation in the legs. I mean, those narrow, tiny feet make it a son of a bitch to get this guy to stand. But as you can see, if you have some patience, he will do it. Other than that, okay, he kind of has the single-esque elbows and knee joints. I can let that go because this is a nice, big figure that's going to look great for photography, for posing on a shelf. Excuse my phone if you can hear that screaming in the background. It's just, I don't know. I'm very happy with the aesthetics of it. I feel like they did a really nice job. But as I said, do be careful. He is pokey. So when you start moving around, as I showed you, those spikes poke and it hurts. So let me know what you guys think. I'm happy for the most part. Trying to get him to stand gets on my nerves, but it's possible. You just really have to work at it. So if you guys have enjoyed this figure, please, as I said, first and foremost, check with your local comic shop. And if you've enjoyed this review, we really would appreciate if you take a moment to hit like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you could possibly know. And if you won't mind hitting that fancy little Apokolips bell next to subscribe, that way as we continue to upload content, you guys get notified. Come to the channel, and we love hearing your thoughts and your feedback down in the comments below or our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, photo slideshow coming up next. Thank you so much for stopping by, and we hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.